Ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to show you how insane crazy this story is. This should not ever happen. But it does. Because you know why? When people go into another country, they get the shaft. When, but when people commit crimes over here in our home, yeah, they get dick. Even people over here. Oh, and I see something over here as well too. So let's start with this one and do a double shot on this story.
A NYC female student sentenced to 1 year in Dubai. What did she do? Elizabeth de los Santos, 21-year-old NYC student facing a 1 year sentence in a Dubai prison. It's following 3 months of detainment for touching the arm of an airport security
Touching
guard.
on us all.
After being told she would need to remove a post-surgical garment, she reached out and touched a guard's arm while pleading for help from a friend. This would come to cost her upwards of $50,000 in expenses and a prison sentence.
Of a year.
The Santos ordeal began on July 14th as she and a friend were heading home to New York from a vacation in Istanbul. Their initial itinerary had them connecting home through Paris, but they changed the flight to transfer in Dubai so they could see the famous city during a 10-hour layover. New York Post has the story. While passing through security, Dubai airport staff requested that Los Santos remove a waist compressor she was required to wear after a recent surgery. Shown to a private booth, female staff members removed the compressor, but Los Santos' mother told Detained in Dubai they were rough. They hurt her daughter, still healing from those surgery scars. They also laughed at her, and when she asked for help to put the complicated garment back on, they refused. I was feeling uncomfortable and afraid. I felt really violated, Los Santos said. As staff continued to ignore her pleas for help, Los Santos leaned past the security guard, blocking her way, and called out for her friend to come and help her. I gently touched her arm to guide her out of the way, then desperately started crying to my friend for help, she told Detained in Dubai. Los Santos was then detained in a room for hours as the security guard she touched filed a complaint against her and wasn't allowed to leave until she signed a form written in Arabic. When she returned to the airport later to catch her flight to New York, she was informed of the travel ban filed against her and was forced to remain in the country until the charges against her were heard in court.
Whoa.
After she had to stay in hotels for weeks, a judge allowed her to pay $10,000, about $2,700 US, and be on her way. But Dubai prosecutors appealed the ruling, and she was finally sentenced to a year in prison on Monday. U.S. State Department has only stated on Sunday that they are aware of the detainment of a U.S. citizen in Dubai, but no further comments. Detained in Dubai, a UAE civil and criminal justice specialist organization has been advocating for Los Santos and calling for her immediate release. Its founder, Raja Sterling, comments.
What does that remind you of? Oh, let's see here. Brittany Grinder. Remember she went to Russia to play basketball? Because WNBA ladies get paid fraction what the men play. Like LeBron James, James Harden, yeah, Steph Curry. Yeah. But superstars like Brittany Griner, Diana Taurasi, yeah, they get paid fraction. Paid fraction, yeah. Asia Wilson, they only get paid $250,000 a year. Or superstars get paid $20 a year. So they got to go overseas to play to earn money. So Brittany Griner went overseas last year. And guess what? She's ready to go home. Well, she was found with cannabis oils, which is perfectly legal. Cannabis. It's legal. But they detained her, locked her up, and when she was found guilty, and she was supposedly sentenced to 9 years. I mean, you kidding me? 9 years? Here in the States, we get sex offenders. People that commit attempted murder get less than 9 years. Yes. We get people that do vehicular manslaughter will get me 2 years. Chomos get 5-6 years for 2 counts of rape or 3 counts of rape. People that try to kill somebody but they survive get 5 years. But people overseas get the shaft like this. Brittany Griner. I don't remember. I'll tell you one of your story. My buddy, my co-worker, went overseas to Holland last summer. Had a good time. Luckily, he had a good identification. Some cop pissed him off. He flipped him off. Say, "Hey, what's up, you fat fucking pig? Did you beat your wife up, you piece of shit fucking fag?" Guess what happened to him? He got fined. He got locked up in 2 weeks in jail in Holland. Just for simply exercising his First Amendment free speech. But, whoop, I guess different countries, you don't have free speech and freedom of assembly and press, all that stuff, like the States.
Elizabeth only intended to transit through Dubai for 6 hours, but she's been there for months on end and has lost $50,000 in expenses and lawyers' costs. She's now been told she has a 1-year prison sentence, but that if all goes well, she will only be detained until she can book a flight out of the UAE. On top of being humiliated, traumatized by airport staff, Elizabeth has suffered months of being forced to stay in an expensive country, pay expensive lawyers, and miss out on her university studies. Is this the kind of transport hub that people would want to choose? Not the only U.S. citizen who has fallen foul of the country's backwards justice system, detained.
Like I said, when you go to another country, it gives you the shaft.
And as I said, Mayor, this is a scary one. It sounds like one that was a bit panic-filled. You know, you have a young woman traveling internationally, place she's never been, uncomfortable, post-surgery. And according to these details, those who were in charge seemed to take glee, delight in her discomfort, and then wanted to do more. What do you make of that? I've never been to Dubai. Don't know if you have.
Yeah, listen, I'm always cautious of telling people, especially my sisters or any women that I'm related to or care about, traveling certain places just because of things like this that can happen. This is unrealistic, unbelievable for people who probably were coming back from a great vacation, thinking they had a time to enjoy something that they've seen on social media that looks beautiful. But everything that looks beautiful is not, and also you need to be careful. I'm not riding up, and I don't have the experience to say that their legal system is backwards. I would say, though, there is a high tolerance for Americans being locked up in these countries, and people sometimes, we've seen entertainers and musicians go over there and have a prescription pill, and
like
locked
Brittany
up
Griner
for carrying drugs. I just tell people, just be careful when you're traveling outside of countries and understand, one, their culture, but also their laws and their history. I tell people I'm not interested in going to China, for instance, because I know the high tolerance for seeing a dark-skinned Black person be abused or sexually molested over there. So I have no interest of being in that country. So I tell people all the time, before you go places, because of you've seen it on Instagram and some people doing it, make sure you understand where you are in the culture and the laws, because this, I couldn't even wrap my head around this.
You know, the funny thing he mentioned about that, you know, go overseas in some countries, you know, I have a friend, you know, she couldn't go to like Japan or Tokyo or whatnot because the ridicule, just the littlest shit, you know, impressive. They could throw you in jail for like a little fraction. But the one gracing period that she has, well, actually two. One is she's married to an Asian girl. She's a lesbian. She's married to an Asian girl. So she has passport. She can go overseas. And number two, her family knows her well. So anything that happens to her, she doesn't get in trouble at all because her wife's family saves her. And the fact is, you know, culture does run deep if you have the right hookup.
This idea that you made someone remove a medical device simply to laugh and then watch them suffer through trying to be redressed, and then you literally charge them in a language that you know they don't understand. Unbelievable.
Yeah, it is. It's unbelievable. It is, as you said, scary, but I think you're right. Everything that's shiny and everybody has a story. Oh, I've been 10 times. Do your homework if you're going to take that long flight.
Stephen Teresa, well, first of all, we are told that she is from the Bronx, and yesterday she was sentenced to 1 year in prison in Dubai. Well, now we are hearing that sentence has been suspended, and she is on her way home to the U.S. 21
Oh, fuck yeah. Great news.
Detained in Dubai. That happened back in July, and she was charged with assaulting and insulting an airport security screener there. An organization called Detained in Dubai, which helps foreigners traveling in the United Arab Emirates, says those charges against her were bogus and that it is common practice in Dubai to in order to extort money from travelers. Elizabeth was traveling with a friend and they had a layover in Dubai. That's why she was there. The organization says when she went through security, she had to remove a medical brace that she was wearing around her waist. Well, when security screeners allowed her to put it back on, she needed her friend's help and she nudged the arm of one of these security screeners. That is when she was detained. Well, yesterday, the organization said Elizabeth was sentenced to 1 year in prison, but today they say that sentence was apparently suspended. The U.S. State Department is also involved here.
We are aware of the sentencing of this U.S. citizen in Dubai, and we take seriously our commitment to assist U.S. citizens abroad and are providing all appropriate consular assistance. The department is in communication with her and her family, and we're going to continue to monitor her case and be involved.
And once again, the latest information is that Elizabeth Polanco de los Santos is now on her way back home as we speak. Stephen, Teresa, back upstairs to you.
Well, wow, quite a journey. Thanks, Linda.
Thank goodness.
Well, now,
You know what? Let me tell you one more thing. Remember I told you about how my friend got locked up for 2 weeks? Supposedly he was sentenced to 2 weeks and got locked up for 2 weeks. Yeah, you know what? For exercising free speech, you know what? He served 2 days, and you know what? He was released. Because you know why? Family, culture, and jurisdiction gets it done. So, yeah. Oh, the great goodness prevails. You know, it's Matter Much. Peace out.